Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at IBM, which is probably going to be like so boring for most people, but to me, I think we're onto something. So I've been trying to gravitate, not just myself, but other people towards the idea of investing into stocks for long term. We're all making lots of money out of crypto, hopefully, and some of those profits obviously need to go into your bank, and the rest of them, you should think about perhaps maybe investing in some long-term positions, right? In stocks with good fundamentals and appropriate charts, right? And this one has come onto my radar now. I'm not saying that there's an entry point right this very moment. However, if you're looking on the longer term, I suppose sometimes it's worth just biting the bullet and getting involved. But there is probably some more method to this to try and find a very decent bottom. But the long term looks pretty rosy, not just on a technical basis, but fundamentally. And I'm not the biggest fundamentals person, but as far as tech is concerned, I've always had this, I suppose this idea that the computers are basically ready for a giant upgrade, and with all this stuff about the metaverse, which I'm sure you all know about, as well as the chip shortage and basically a whole push towards a new type of technology. I'm not talking Moore's law. I'm talking something a bit more dramatic than that. The idea that somewhere down the line, maybe 5 to 10 years from now, quantum computers will be a relatively common thing. Maybe not in our houses, but generally speaking, across the board, military and business and all kinds of other things. And it would appear that IBM have just broken the mold. IBM launches a 127 qubit Eagle quantum computer, and it looks like it could be rolled out, I suppose, within a few years, really. There are quantum computers out there. Google's got one. Everybody's making them, but they're just not practical. They look like something from some 50s sci-fi film. They're just a whole big bundle of wires I mean, they're powerful. Don't get me wrong, but they're not exactly at this moment in time practical. The person or the company that managed to nail at least the first quantum computer that could be rolled out to people, businesses and whatnot, on a realistic level, looks like IBM might be front-running that industry. So what we look at now is, I suppose, understanding that there's a big deal going on behind the scenes with IBM. They might actually turn around and become an industry leader in something once again, because they've had a backseat for quite a while, but they've never gone away. This is a monthly chart, okay? So since this monthly chart, we reached a peak all the way up here in January 2013. And since then, we've been in this descending channel, right? Very volatile, down all the way back up, down all the way back up. So you would like the idea, you would like, I suppose, to entertain the concept that we will come back down to the bottom of the channel, but we might not. And this is why I'm saying, sometimes it's worth biting the bullet on something like this. And we're not just looking at this in the fact that it's a descending channel. Go, all right, descending channels are bullish. They do generally break out rather than break down. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a breakout on this. And again, this is a monthly chart. If we go down to the RSI, what we see on the monthly is we have an enormous amount of bullish divergence taking place on this descending channel, which again strengthens the fact that when this breaks out, it'll be pretty big. Now, couple that with the launch of their 127 qubit quantum chip that they've developed, and then you place that in the future where we see the whole big drive towards this whole new green, energy efficient, highly digitized world. Quantum computers are going to be swallowed up into that new world, and probably end up driving it. Because at the moment, we can think about all these things like metaverse and this, that, and the other, and we think about all our little chips that we've got, that even that there's a chip shortage on them and stuff. And you just think, I think it's time to move on. And I think that this is one of the technologies which is going to drive the feasibility of the vision that all these large tech companies have got of how we're going to manage all this data streaming around like at the speed of at quantum speed basically. So again, I thought I'd bring this to your attention because there's a piece of news that came out today. So it did sort of make me look at the chart, and I see that the chart is technically brewing a bullish move. However, entry points are certainly going to be a difficult one to really try and gauge. The idea is that you could probably try to be clever and get back down to this horizontal support zone, which is just around about 105 to 107. Again, not much from where we are right now. So, but if it were to come back down to the bottom side of this channel, then that is a further drop, 25 on, getting on for 26%. You can have wicks down lower than that, And again, it's up to you if where you decide to place your money. If you want to be clever, if you want to wait on this, remember this is a monthly chart. Okay, we've got bullish divergence on a monthly. It's going on for years. It's going on for absolute years. But like I say, you couple this with the fundamental development that's come out now, and say, okay, so what we've got here, we've got a downtrend, we've got a bullish chart that's downtrending. We have fundamental technology now which could easily slot quite nicely into the way that the world is moving, and so what would be my entry point, and what would be my exit point, and what would be the time required to think about realizing profits on something like this? And it would be 5 to 10 years from now. Again, bullish divergence on a monthly chart that's been going on for since 2013. Well, no, it's not really, about 2016 is where it started. So it's been going on for several years, and like I say, it technically is a bullish chart. However, entry points are certainly not the easiest thing to pick up on something like this. If you imagine it, it's like a train, a steam train that's trying to brake. That's basically what's going on here. It's going to take a long time for it to brake and go static, and then go back into reverse and pick up momentum again. We are talking about a position which will take years to play out. But if we think about the way that the chart looks in general, it is a bullish chart. Let's face it. This is a bullish chart. Started all the way down here in the 80s, or peaked up in the 2000s, consolidated for several years. Big move back up again. We're now in a descending channel, and we have bullish divergence on an RSI, all based on monthly. I think that the chances are that this chart will continue to move up, and will probably take some significant stabs up over the next few years, if this technology that they've developed ends up being something that's feasible, and also something that's consumed, I suppose, something that's bought up. And I haven't seen any competitors with any kind of realistic rollout for quantum chips. There's plenty of people developing very fast quantum computers, but I haven't actually seen anybody try to roll them out. So it does seem like an industry first, and it doesn't mean that they're the ones that are going to get the adoption, but if they did, they'll be back on top, and this chart will continue to make new highs indefinitely with that kind of foothold in the market. Anyway, bullish chart, bullish tech, bullish fundamentals. Sounds like a no-brainer. The only thing you'll need to use your brain is, where are you going to buy it? Are you going to buy it? And do you have the balls to buy something like this and hold for the long term? Because essentially that's what it is. This is an investment. This isn't like a quick trade like we do on the charts, with crypto. This is a buy and hold for 5 to 10 years to allow them to become basically an industry leader in technology that's basically pretty futuristic, but is now basically getting rolled out this is the future. The future began 5 hours ago when the news story broke. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.